Hi folks, this is Man Cave Creations presents Carver's Corner. I'm Bob Morgan, and today we're going to do a baby bear and a stump in a piece of cedar. The tools we're going to use are my battery operated still, and I'm usually a still guy, so this is one of my favorite saws. It's my MSA 140C. Now, if you're going to try battery saws, I definitely can't tell you enough about getting 2 batteries and the quickest charger they have. And this is my newest addition. I just give it a couple test cuts. Other than that, it hasn't even been usable. Wouldn't be able to tell because I've already got it dirty, but as you can see, the bar is still pure. I just wanted to see what I think. It seems to have pretty good power. I bought this instead of still, which I usually would never do because I can't say enough about still chainsaws. But you know, this one was 150 Canadian. I think they're about 99 American, and the still is about 600 in the same power with a bar that's somewhere around this size. Now that's the 18-inch bar. The other feature that this has is the automatic sharpener. The Oregon chains with this system sharpen across the top. I can't say that I'm a big fan yet. We'll have to see how it goes. Don't expect from this what I could do with a fuel saw, but for today's use indoor here in the carving studio, I think it should do our purposes just fine. So we'll get those out of the way, and let me just introduce this, the Marathon micromotor handset. This is from my sponsor, Bearwood's Carving Supply, Bearwood Supply Company, and this is a fantastic tool, folks. I just can't say enough about this. If you're thinking about getting a Dremel and a flex shaft, don't get this instead. Retails for $179 American from Bearwood Supply Company, and you know, changing a bit is as easy as turning the midsection, pop your bit out, put your new bit back in, click that into place, and that ain't going nowhere. I carve aggressively, and there's another video that'll be up on my page of me doing furring and stuff with this thing, and it doesn't slip. 3,500 RPM on control here, foot pedal control or kill switch control, forward and reverse. For the money, you are not going to find a better carver, in my opinion. Our rotary tool, in my opinion. No, we're just going to slip this out of the way and thank Bearwoods again for that generous contribution to what we're doing. Now, I have 2 pages on Facebook that I'm running. One is Power Carving for Newbies, and the other is just simply Power Carving. If you're a new carver, make sure you get on there and hit the Newbies page and the Power Carving page, because boy, there's some pros on there that do fantastic work. Make me look like I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm a production carver. I try to carve fast. This is a living for me. I love what I do, but when it comes down to it, time is money. Now, another thing that you may notice is I have this in the jaw horse. And another thing about the jaw horse you may notice is that it has wooden chucks on the vise, and then that will keep me from hitting it with the chain and therefore damaging my chain on the steel. Highly recommend that if you use a jaw horse, you have such guards as that. Well, I guess that's me introduced all the tools. Let's get going. I'm just going to bring the camera over so I can show you simple couple things. Now, whenever you're going to carve something, see where your cracks are, right? And I've decided that I'm going to make this the front. There's a crack here and a crack here, but I am going to remove all of that wood, and I think I will be safe. I often would have put that to the back, but it would have been right in the way of where the ears will be, and I don't want that. That will be our thinnest part. So even if the cheeks end up with a bit of a crack in them, it's not going to be the end of the world, but I doubt it. This is well seasoned Western red cedar, and It's very aromatic. It's wonderful smelling in here when I get to work. And there's very few knots. Hopefully, that's another thing you should always check for, is where position of knots are. You know, you don't want one right on the tip of your nose, or, you know, right where an eye is. It just looks silly. So it's always best to have them out of the way. Anyways, so we'll get set back up. I will do my absolute best to stay out of the way of all of what I'm doing here. And let's carve a bear. Okay, so my first cut is going to be an angle cut from the back down to here. And I highly recommend a few things. Wedged shaped face, angled snout, brow, building up to the ears. And you know, I just see a lot of new carvers when they're trying to do their first few bears, and they end up cutting, you know, a block head with a block snout and a flat face, and it takes them a long time to break themselves of the habit. A bear's head is wedged. It stages down from the ears to the snout. It stages in from the ears to the snout. And if you do it right, your face should be somewhat circular with that heart drop at the hairline under the snout. And one of the biggest things about making a bear look somewhat realistic is good brow formation. So anyways, let's start off by dropping in our ear cut. I usually say almost a saw blade's pretty good. And then we'll come on over. And now this is one of the pains about having a corded saw, but it has a lot more power than the battery ones, and affordability is considerable. Okay, well, my angle's off a bit, but we'll fix that shortly. Okay, now we're going to stage down from the eye to where we're going to place the snout. And now the brow should have a bit of angle to it. Not too deep. Okay, so now we have position for the snout, position for the brow, position for ears. Then, like I was saying, pardon me folks, and yeah, it's always best to keep things out of the way of where you're walking while you're carving. Should have taped that off. Now, ears on a bear, I often see new carvers put them right on top of the head. This is not where they go. You want to bring the rest of this in considerably so that your ears are out to the side, kind of on a diagonal. that'd be a really big nose. So we got to do something about that. And noses should be A-shaped, the wider at the base, and in from the sides. Just 1 second, folks. I'm going to tape that plug off. It is definitely not my best cord. Okay, let's carry on. So, you know, anything square is wrong. So we're going to fix all of that, but let's get the nose. And then, one of the other things that I find is important is when you're putting in your jawline, you know, not to put it flat, a bear's head. Should be somewhat wedge-shaped in all directions. Okay. Drop some ears. Like we should have in the first place. Okay, now let's get rid of a little bit of room underneath the bear's head here. Now, let's bevel the back of the neckline. grab my little one and let's get a little bit further shaping done. Now this is not a carving bar, though it does have a nice small tip. This is the bar they come with. It also comes with a 1/4 pitch sprocket that will allow you to put a carving bar on here without having to change a sprocket. These are a great little battery saw. And if you watch for sales, they're not even that bad a price. Now, okay, now one of the next things that I find rather important, let me just make sure we're all kind of on par here, is with these bears, you take your cheek line from behind the ear and up to the bottom of the jaw. And we'll get more of that out after. Okay, now let's just get this out of the way. Spin this around so you can see what we'll do to the back here. You can see why having the wood there is a good idea. If I would have hit that with just the steel there, we'd have been sharpening. Okay, so basically you just want to get everything beveled and rounded out. You really don't want any square cuts anywhere, and it definitely will help you get a more realistic and accurate bear after the fact. left. You know, this is just a how to basically get your head in. And we're just going to kind of put paw here, and make it look like he's a little bear squashed down in his little stump, eh? We could have done the head smaller and therefore made it look like there was actually room for him, but you know, these things go all the time. People like to stick them in their gardens and whatnot, so it's not like we're shooting for total realism on the space. It's the size that I had to work with. Okay, we'll get to the rest of the body in a bit here. We're just going to shift gears. Now a lot of people are saw only. I, however, am not. Use a great many power tools to do every job. So, once I get to a certain point, I like to shift over to grinders and die grinders, and we will do that now. I will stop this where we are and do the next one, power tools from there on out. We have our basic shape, and we'll start work on that with some grinders and die grinders and wrap it up. I'll just give you a quick show of where we're at with that. These things are awesome, these jaw horses. It very much is like having an extra few hands, you know, with the foot operation to tighten it. Okay, you see our cheek line coming from behind the ear on both sides, and my bears have big noses. That's just the way I do it, and I make no apologies for that. If you have a style, there's nothing wrong with that. People range everywhere from very realistic, and many people just carve cutesy bears, and both sell very well. Anyways, I'm going to get some grinders on this, mask up, and we'll go forward with this. All right, thank you.